Teacher's example. Okay, so this scenario is a food ordering service. Okay, first we have this introduction. I'm going to read it out loud so we can all, um, afterwards you guys can pause the video and try to read it again if you guys want. So basically what it says here is the market changes even for traditional businesses such as bars and restaurants. For this scenario, the Restaurant Owners Association has decided to launch a digital transformation project for their business. They know there's many reasons to do so. For example, customers spend more when they can use an application to place orders. Other large franchises already have these services and they're catching up to small local businesses. The customer is more likely to order again if they can use a smartphone. So to begin with, the association must create a process for the automation of the food delivery. This process will be affected by a policy, a business rule, that allows each restaurant to establish and modify the delivery deadline of the orders. This way, customers can know how long it's going to take them to receive their orders. Besides, if the restaurants do not comply with the deadlines they have set, they're going to be penalized by applying discounts to customers in their next orders via a loyalty scheme. Okay, so this is all the information that the owners of all these restaurants gave me. Okay, so first they tell me their story. This is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to achieve. And me as a consultant, I'm going to try to interpret all this information and create a diagram with this information. All right, so for now, all I know is that they want to digitalize their businesses, and the first thing they want to do is create a process to control the food orders. Okay, so people can go online, open their application or open the website and place their orders there. And besides, another important thing is that they're telling me that each restaurant can set up the amount of time that they need to invest in the preparation of these orders. And the customer is going to know how much how much time it's going to take for the order to be delivered. Besides, another very important point that I read here is that if a restaurant doesn't comply with these deadlines, they're going to be penalized. Okay, so we have to take all of this into account. I'm going to continue reading the scenario. Okay, so after this, it tells me, okay, this is the start of the process. Okay, well, we're going to create the order. This is the first phase of the process, creating the order. And it says the customer must be able to order from their smartphone. Let's suppose that the customer, in this case, Sarah, okay, it's an example, has ordered pasta, pizza, cannelloni, and lambrusco from Ristorante Paolo. Okay, so this would start the process. Okay, so someone enters the website, for example, they decide what they want to purchase at this restaurant, and they submit their request. After that, it says that the system performs a calculation based on two factors: the distance between the restaurant and Sarah's house. Okay, so this information can be retrieved from the request that Sarah made. Okay, this is something you'll learn later on throughout the course. You're gonna learn how you guys can actually get the geolocalization of a customer, for example, in order to make calculations or any other thing. Okay, but this is something we'd see later on. For now, we're just going to try to diagram this. Okay, so we're trying to achieve the distance time to know how much it's going to be between the restaurant and the customer's house. And besides, we want to calculate and know how much time it's going to take for the preparation. Okay, so with these two factors, we can get the waiting time. The waiting time is going to be the sum of these two calculations. There's one related to the distance and another calculation related to the amount of time uh, that the certain restaurant has to invest in order to prepare those meals or those types of foods that the customer is asking and requesting. So once we have all that information with both of these factors, we're going to have this waiting time information. And then it says Sarah receives a task on her smartphone that informs her that her order is going to arrive in 37 minutes. If she presses accept, the process continues. Otherwise, the process ends. Okay, so for now, this seems apparently quite simple. Um, for now, I don't have any doubts. Obviously, this is just an example. Sarah is an example. There might be hundreds or thousands of processes that are triggered every day, and it's not always going to be Sarah. But here they're giving us an example to better understand the situation of what they're trying to achieve. Okay, so now it says when Sarah clicks accept, the restaurant receives a task immediately where they can see what needs to be cooked and the maximum preparation time. Okay, so if Sarah accepts, the restaurant receives a task. I think it's going to be a task where they know how much time they can invest in the preparation. And when the preparation deadline is exceeded, the restaurant, if the restaurant hasn't finished, the customer is going to receive a notification via SMS informing them of the delay. Okay, so yeah, so the customer is going to receive a message telling them, look, there's going to be a delay in your purchase order. And additionally, there's going to be, it says the customer's application, there's going to be an option enabled that's going to allow the customer to see the status of the preparation and decide whether they want to cancel this order or not. This option is only enabled from the time of the delay until the preparation phase is completed. Okay, so here it's starting to get a little bit more complicated, but let's see if we can do this. So it's telling us, okay, if there is a delay, we're going to notify the customer. And besides, we're going to activate an option in the application of the customer that's going to allow them to cancel the order if they want. And this possibility to cancel the order is only going to be available while they're preparing the food. Okay, once they've already finished the preparation, the customer isn't going to be able to cancel it anymore. Okay, so when the food is ready, a task arrives to the corresponding delivery driver with the customer's data. Once the delivery is finished, the driver must press a button called Delivery Complete, and with this, the delivery task is complete. Okay, so here I know the person in charge of the delivery is also going to receive a task. After the delivery has been completed, okay, so after this driver clicks on that button, the system is going to make a bank transfer from Sarah's account to the restaurant's account. If the order was received within the waiting time, 100% of the amount is going to be paid. If the order was received outside of the waiting time, only 90% of the amount is going to be paid. In addition, the system sends an email to Sarah with a discount code that she can use on her next purchase through the app. By entering the code, the remaining 10% is going to be applied as a discount on the next order to that restaurant. Okay, so we're seeing that the restaurant is going to receive less money if they weren't able to make the delivery on time, and Sarah or the customer is going to receive a code. So the next time they want to purchase something in that restaurant, they're going to be able to have this little discount. Okay. All right. And the last phase here, it says cancel order. It says that the order can be canceled. Oh, it can be canceled during two phases. It says the phase in which the order is created and the preparation phase. Okay, so we already mentioned before that when we were preparing the food, when the restaurant's preparing the food, we could cancel it if it was taking them more time than what was expected. But here it's also saying we can cancel when we initiate the process and the system tells us how much time it's going to take for us to receive the food. So for example, let's say I say, okay, I want this food from this restaurant, and the app tells me, okay, it's going to take you 40 minutes to receive it. You can click on accept or you can click on cancel, whether you want to continue with the process or you don't. So if you want to continue, then obviously the restaurant's going to receive their task and all of that. But if I cancel, then my order isn't even going to be taken into account. The process is going to end. Okay, as it says here, if the order is canceled, during the preparation phase, due to the restaurant being delayed, the restaurant has to be notified. In addition, the preparation task that came to the restaurant must disappear. Okay, so the restaurant received a task where they had to prepare some food, But obviously, if the customer canceled it because it's taking them much more time than what was expected, they're going to receive a notification and their task is going to disappear. And in the same way as when an order is late, if the order is canceled due to delay in the preparation phase, the customer is going to receive a loyalty discount code as a compensation for the delay. So basically what it's telling me here is that if the restaurant has a delay, I'm always going to receive a compensation. Okay, I'm going to try to diagram this scenario. It's not that easy. It might seem easy, but it's a bit tricky. The first thing we want to do is download the modeling tool. So what I do is I enter the AutoPortal website. I go to resources and let's look for modeler. Okay, I'm using a Windows computer, so I'm going to click on this one here. It's going to ask us to fill in this form. Okay, so once I fill in the form, I click on the button download. Okay, now I have this button here where I can download it. And here it's going to download into my system, into my computer. And the next thing I want to do is install it. Okay, so it's already been downloaded to my computer. Now all I have to do is click on it. And this window pops up. I'm going to agree. I'm going to click on install. And as soon as I do this, the application is going to be installed on my computer. Okay, we're good to go. So I'm going to click on this button to run the application. If I want to look for it later on, I can always go here and type in modeler. There we go. Okay, so I've got quick access, but by clicking here, I can already launch the tool. I'm going to open the tool here on my screen, and I'm going to start diagramming the scenario. The first thing I want to do is start with this first phase, okay, where we create the order, we do these two calculations, and after that we decide whether we want to continue with our order or we want to cancel the process. Okay, so I'd add a start message event, okay, because I'm going to start the process by inputting data into the system. Okay, I might call it customer's order. Okay, now I can move this wherever I want, for example up here. The next thing I want is a couple system tasks, because first we had a calculation where we're going to calculate the amount of, well, the distance time, okay? And after this, I want another system task where I can calculate the, the amount of time dedicated to preparing the food. So we calculate the distance time, we calculate the preparation time, and the next thing this scenario tells me, it says then, Sarah receives a task on her smartphone that informs her that the order is going to arrive in 37 minutes, for example. If she presses accept, the process continues. Okay, I could think that this is going to be a notification, an automatic system notification, because it tells me that the system informs. But if Sarah has to perform an action, if Sarah has to input data into the system, this cannot be a notification. Okay, notifications, all they do is send or deliver information. But when I want someone to receive something where they can actually interact with it, input data, well, I need to create a task. Okay, so here I'm going to add a task. So I'm going to put this is the customer approval. Okay, so here the customer is going to decide whether they approve or not. So I want a gateway. I want a divergent gateway. And this gateway, it's a divergent exclusive gateway that's going to allow me to redirect the flow in one direction or another one. And we already mentioned that if the customer says they don't want the order, they could actually cancel it and the process would end. Okay. If they do, I don't know what's going to happen. I'll read it again in a moment. Okay, so let's say here, for example, approved. It's not mandatory to add a label to gateway. Okay, but what is mandatory is to add a label to the outlets of a DX gateway. Okay, so I'm just adding this one as additional information because it's a bit easier to understand like this. So no, we did not approve, so the process is just going to end. Or yes, we did approve, so the process is going to continue. Okay, I'm going to read the next phase of the process. So here we have the restaurant. They have to accept. When Sarah accepts, the restaurant has to receive this task. They're going to know the maximum time they have in order to perform it. If the deadline is exceeded and the restaurant hasn't finished the order, then the customer receives a notification informing of the delay. And additionally, the customer has an option to cancel this delivery, but only while they're preparing the food. Okay, because it says this option is only enabled from the time of the delay until the preparation phase is completed. So we have to take into account these moments in time. All right. So the first thing I want to do in this case is I'm going to add a task for the restaurant. So I'm going to put here. So the restaurant prepares the order. Oops. Okay, but besides preparing the order, we need to take into account the amount of time that they're going to invest in preparing this order. In order to do that, I'll need a gateway. I'll need a DA gateway. But here's the thing. If I add a gateway here, let's say I add a gateway here, and I'm going to add a time event to control the amount of time invested in the preparation. And after this, I can add a task for Sarah to cancel. Okay, Sarah or whatever, whoever's the customer, okay? It actually can't be a task because the text says that there's something in their application that's enabled if they want to cancel the order, but it doesn't say they have to cancel the order. So we already mentioned earlier, tasks are for things you must do, and we can always add an intermediate event if we want to just enable something, a space, a link, or something in the application so that we can input data. But the problem here is it says if we decide to cancel the order, this task here, it has to disappear. The restaurant can't continue preparing the order. Okay, and since I cannot do it here in the main diagram, I'm going to have to look for a different way of solving this. And in this scenario, I think a subprocess is going to come very handy. Let's see how we'd solve this. For example, I'd add the subprocess. I'd add an event to initiate the subprocess. And now all of this, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to drop it inside of the subprocess. Okay. Oops. Okay. So here I connect the IS to the DA to the restaurant. And now here, let's say we can cancel the order. So I can put here cancel order. And here, let's say this would be hold the flow until the delivery arrives. Okay, so here we can hold the flow until the delivery time arrives while the restaurant is preparing the food. But once this moment arrives, the flow can continue, so we can cancel the order. And if we cancel the order, the flow is going to go out of this sub-process. And what this means is that the restaurant is not, well, their task is going to disappear, so they're not going to be able to see their task anymore. Okay, I could also add a system task here to notify the restaurant because in the scenario it says that the restaurant has to be notified that the order has been canceled. Now, if we've canceled the order, the flow is going to go out of this sub-process. So I'm going to add another event, an end event. And for now, I'm going to leave it like this. Okay, so here we have our our subprocess, okay, and it's extended notation. So I have to add one here and it's compressed notation. So let's say yes, it is approved. Then the flow is going to go in here in the subprocess. We can call it food preparation or order preparation. Okay, so once we've done this, we can connect the IS to the subprocess. All I have to do is click here on the plus symbol, and this little window pops up where I can say yeah, I want to connect it to the IS1. Okay, or I can click with my second button here and click on select IS. All right, so I've already got both of connected. Now I have to continue with the rest of the process. Okay, so here it says that when the food is ready, a task arrives to the delivery driver, and they're gonna send the food to the customer. Once the delivery is finished, they have to click a button in order to indicate that they've completed the delivery. Okay, so obviously there's going to be a task for the driver. I'll add it here. So they deliver the order. And here there's, well, I need to do something because I'm not always going to deliver the order after the subprocess. So I need to make another decision. Okay, so I need another gateway, another DX gateway, because in this case, I'm going to ask, for example, was it canceled? I'm going to add the gateway here. So if it's not canceled, it's going to go to the delivery to the person who has to deliver the order. And if it was canceled, let's see what happens. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the scenario. Okay, and here it tells me after the delivery has been completed, the system has to make a transfer of 100% if they delivered on time, 90% if they delivered uh, outside of the waiting time. Okay, and after that, we're going to send an email to Sarah with a discount code so she can use it in her next purchase. Okay, so we've actually got three possibilities because it would be canceled. Actually, it would be here. We could say deliver or prepared, and we'd have one option. It would be prepared on time. There would be another option that we could call it prepared out of time. So the order could actually be prepared within the time that was expected or out of the time that was expected, or it could actually be cancelled. And if it's cancelled, I guess the process ends. Yes. Because if the customer said they wanted to cancel the order, there's a notification sent to the restaurant. This task disappears immediately because the flow goes outside of this sub-process, so everything within it is cancelled. Even this task, even though it was still pending, it's going to be cancelled. The flow is going to go out here. It's going to go through the cancelled outlet, and the process is going to end. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the scenario and see what else it says. It says that the order can be cancelled in two phases: the phase in which the order has been created, okay, and the preparation phase. If it's cancelled in the first phase, the process ends without any further action. That would be this here. Okay, so here the customer, they cancel the order and the flow goes here and the process ends. And then there's the other scenario where the order could be cancelled during the preparation phase due to the restaurant being delayed. So in this case, it says that the task must disappear, and besides it says in the same way as when an order is late, if the order is cancelled due to delay in the preparation phase, the customer is going to receive a loyalty discount code. Okay, so even when they cancel the order because there was a delay, even in that case, even though they don't have to pay, they're going to receive a compensation. Okay, so this is going to be expensive for the restaurant if they don't deliver their food on time. Okay, so here I'd say we'd have the two different options: prepared out of time, prepared on time. If it's prepared out of time, we're going to need to pay 90%. Okay, so I'm going to put here, so we're going to transfer 90% to the restaurant. If it's not on time, we're going to pay 100%. And if it's out of time or if the process was cancelled, we have to notify the customer and give them a code. Now, how should I connect all of these? I have the delivery here. Obviously, the delivery only has to be done when the order has been on time or even when it's been out of time, but the customer didn't cancel it. So I guess here we have a decision, but maybe I should change it. Actually, I think I'm going to have to add another gateway. So let's say we delivered, okay, so it's been prepared and here it should be a yes or no. Yes or no. If it's no, obviously the process is going to end. And then this decision has to take place later on because first we deliver, and once we've delivered, we're going to transfer the money to the customer, sorry, to the restaurant. So we're not going to transfer the money to the restaurant before we have delivered. So I'm going to move this a little bit. I'm going to add another gateway. And this one is going to say on time. Okay, so if it's yes, we're going to transfer 100%. There we go. And if it's no, we're going to transfer 90%. Okay, and actually, we said when the customer cancels due to the restaurant being late, or even though they don't cancel, but they receive their food late, we have to send them a discount code. Okay, so this discount code has to be sent in both scenarios. Okay, so this no outlet, I'm actually going to connect it here, so I can use this system task twice in both scenarios. So let's say the customer said, well, I'm going to cancel the order because they told me half an hour and an hour has already passed and I'm not receiving my food, so I might as well just cook for myself. Okay, so the flow goes out of the sub process, it goes here, it goes over here, and this sends the customer a discount code. I don't know if the discount is going to be the same or not, as if uh, when the restaurant is actually late. But anyways, since the text doesn't tell me anything, it just doesn't tell me there's two different types of discounts, I'll just connect it here and I'll reuse this discount. So when we cancel the order, that we're going to notify the restaurant, and immediately we're also going to notify the customer, telling them that they have a discount code, and probably the message is also going to say we're sorry for the delay or whatever. Here you have a discount for your next order. And the same thing happens when we actually deliver the order, but the delivery was done late. Okay, so we're going to transfer the money in this case, and we're going to notify the customer that they have a discount code. And here, the process would just end if everything went well. Okay, so this would actually be the perfect scenario when the flow just goes directly through the process down here. And this would be bad news, and this would also be bad news. Okay, but anyways, I think this diagram covers all the text that we have in the scenario. This is how we have to try to solve any scenario that we have in the exercise. You guys already know how to use this diagramming tool. You can see it's quite easy. All you have to know is how to use these different objects and drag and drop them here. And that's about it. So I'm going to leave the other scenarios up to you. The next scenario is going to be document translation.